Well, we're at that point now where, because you've already shown your bona fides, like you know everything about Sonoma.
Yes.
You're born and raised here.
Yes.
You worked in a vineyard here.
Yes.
You do all the PR here.
Worked at a lot of restaurants
Worked
here.
at a lot of restaurants. You're going to help me answer some questions now.
Okay.
So first of all, you haven't seen any of these, right?
No, I have not.
So here's how it works. We have all these people ask us questions. We have the 2 visitor centers. I text them. You're going to help me answer it. This is what we call We Get Questions. Dun, dun, dun.
All right.
So people text us, email us, call us, however it is they come in. Here's this week's questions with Allison. My 25th wedding anniversary is coming up next year. Congratulations.
Mazel.
Yeah. My wife keeps saying she wants to go to wine country. These are quotation marks, okay? Because this was an email. I have no idea where to begin. Our anniversary is May 29th. Help!
Okay, I was like, we just missed it.
No, this guy's planning way ahead.
There we go.
I do know this person's in the great American Middle West.
Okay.
And so this is an email we got, and he didn't know what to do. But his wife said wine country.
Go to the Visitors Bureau website.
Oh, you're hired. Yes, so go to SonomaValley.com.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Well, it depends on what part of wine country, but obviously Sonoma.
Right, that's the right answer.
Yeah.
Right.
Start by finding a good place to stay.
Okay.
Do you want to walk? Do you want to drive? Do you want to hire a driver? Where are you going?
But like the Letson Hotel you mentioned.
Yeah.
Good spot right on the
Good spot
plaza.
right on the plaza.
If you want to be out in the vines in the romantic area, Kenwood Inn and Spa, Olea Hotel, those places are kind
Fairmont
of
is a fun one with a great shuttle.
Right, and go across the street to Sonoma Eats because I really, really love their food.
Yes, or Spread just right down the street.
Oh, that's really good
Christina
too. Yeah,
her food.
she's a great little patio there.
Yes, she
you
does.
sit outside there and eat the Middle
But
Eastern
start
food.
with where you want to stay, and then figure out how many wineries you want to do, if that's what you want to do.
Let me ask you that. Should people do like 25 wineries in a day?
No. That's not.
So what do you recommend? How do you tackle how many wineries to taste?
I like to start with one that potentially offers food, or at least build my lunch around it. Eating is very important.
Like St.
when you're
Francis
wine
has a whole food and wine experience.
Exactly.
And some of them offer smaller wine nibbles and things, but that makes sense.
But I like to plan mine around food whenever I go wine tasting, and then see if you want to squeeze 1 or 2 more in after that. But I think never more than 3. You want to remember the wines. You want to enjoy the experiences. And then get a nice dinner reservation, and then, see where the night takes you on the plaza.
Well done.
Thank you.
You're hired.
Okay.
That's great. So, John, I know you emailed this to me. There's your answer from Allison. She knows the stuff, so listen to her. And don't go to that many wineries.
Do not go to 25 wineries.
This is not.
Hopefully they will stop serving
They will
you.
stop. This is not a pub crawl, people. This is wine tasting. Here's a question we got. When is the lighting of the plaza this year?
Not on my birthday.
Not on Allison's birthday. It's Saturday, November 18th.
Awesome.
We literally got that via text this morning.
Did you
and
really?
I'm like, that's fantastic.
That's a plant. Come on.
No, it's not. And that's what I thought. Yeah, people can text our service, and we'll answer it. It usually pings my phone or Jose's phone.
Nice.
And it's after hours. Often people will ask us. And usually it's anything from we lost something.
Yeah.
Yes, we have your hearing aid. It got turned in, which we've gotten.
But I do love the lighting of the plaza. That's
It's
so much
fantastic.
fun. But make reservations for dinner in
Early.
advance.
Now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do that now.
Smart. And then some of the tasting rooms, if you remember, like a Pangloss Cellars, they do events for the wine club members. Mm-hmm. So join all the wine clubs right now.
I'm a Pangloss Wine Club member.
Oh, you don't get invited.
What?
Yeah, shoot. Sorry about that, Leslie Lyon. I didn't mean to get that up. Please. Okay, here's another one we got. Ready? Hi. People they're so emphatic on the emails. Hi. Visiting Sonoma area from the East Coast for the first time next month, staying in Kenwood. We'll have 2 days to explore Sonoma and Napa, and I want to make the most of it. How many wineries should we realistically expect to visit in a day? Any must-see or do's? Are drivers and transportation an easy option? We like Chardonnay, Cabs, and Zinfandels. Open to others. Thank you. It was on Facebook.
Well, don't go to Napa. First and foremost.
Right, geez.
Sorry.
God.
No, I think that kind of goes back to my other answers.
Right.
If you're in Kenwood already,
Right.
I think I mentioned them before, Muscardini Cellars.
Oh, is that Muscardini with an M?
Yes.
And it ends in an I?
Yes.
And between it, Scardini.
Italian varietals.
Very
we
good.
got some Zin in there and some
Okay.
cabs that we make as
Okay.
well. But yeah, if you're doing Kenwood, that whole
Yeah.
strip down there, you can't go wrong.
There's plenty of there. There's even a group now that's calling themselves the Small Wineries of Glen Ellen and Kenwood. It includes like Hamilton Family Wine, Schermeister, a bunch of different smaller guys. Wine
Yeah,
Snob is
I
in
read
there.
about that recently.
So it's kind of neat because there's smaller tasting rooms that you wouldn't normally know about their wines. And actually, we don't have a lot of, we do have big wineries that you'll know the names, like St. Francis, you know the name of, right? Klein and Jacuzzi, you might know those names, family owned. But there's a bunch of small guys, right? When Hamilton is the Hamilton family, they're sitting there. Von Duffy, it's him, Matt Vaughn's pouring you your wine. So there's a whole bunch there that they can get to.
Yeah. And if they're staying in Kenwood, I mean, that's, get a driver for the day and, just
have a good time.
Yeah, pop around.
I do want to clarify, is there frequent bus service through Sonoma Valley for wine tasting?
No, and we've talked about this, haven't we?
Is there?
Is this a pet peeve of someone's?
Can you expect an Uber just to show up?
Oh, gosh, no. Please schedule in advance. Always. Or, hire a designated driver. I've noticed on Facebook, the Sonoma wine drinkers group. I think you could probably reach out on there and see if there are, other reliable drivers and things like that. But always book transportation in advance.
Thank you. Good tip. Because sometimes if you have cell service that rhymes with AT&T, you will not work in parts of Sonoma Valley. True. And so if you're trying to request an Uber or a Lyft or whatever, it might not show up.
Yeah.
So
and the taxi service, unfortunately, here is also.
Right. Although one taxi guy, he's one of the Sherpas, he just climbed K2.
Yes.
I'm going to get him on the podcast. So talk to that guy if you can. But he's currently in Nepal or something, so don't. But you're right. You should book your drivers ahead of time.
Always.
Yeah. Another thing we talk about is there are tours, like on bike tours. Pushpak Motors offers little scooter tours.
Yes, and didn't they just win an award?
He did win an award. Pushpak just won an award from Viator, second year in a row for being one of the top non-motorized tours, I think, in the United States.
Yeah.
It's cool. I'm going to get him on Howard.
Yeah.
And he actually likes music a lot, too. He was a big promoter of music at one time.
He was. My dad and him go way back.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Okay. He always calls me and goes, "Hey, Tim, Bo." And I call him back. I'm like, "I know you as Howard." He's like, "Oh, yeah. Bo's my other name." I'm like, "Okay. Well, anyway, what do you want?" So, all right, good. So person staying in Kenwood, definitely go to Muscardini, go to the other wineries there, check out the small wineries of Sonoma and Glen Ellen.
Yes.
Book your transportation ahead of time. Don't count on being able to find an Uber or a Lyft, or book one of the tours that goes there. All right, that's good. That's a good answer.
And don't go to Napa.
Here's a question one of our visitor services reps gets. Where in New Jersey are you from? No, probably doesn't apply to you and I, but Sharon is from New Jersey. A lot of people are surprised to find that it's true. Sharon is from New Jersey. They have great pizza in New Jersey.
Oh.
Yeah, but I can't remember where she's from. But Sharon knows the answer to that because she's the one that's from New Jersey. But that's one of the questions we get. We got a question this week.
There we go.
Here's another one we got. Someone walked up, and this is a good question. How long does it take to get wine from a newly planted vineyard?
About 3 years.
About 3 years.
Yeah.
So before, but people, it's not like planting corn where you get it the same year.
Yeah.
So you plant it.
I'm saying about too.
About. Right. That's good. You knew that so fast.
Yeah. Well, we had a vineyard.
So oftentimes what people don't know, when you plant a vine, it's actually grafted. There's a root. They call it a rootstock. It's a portion of the vine that goes in the ground, the root, and then they cut it, and then they tape on the type of what they call the varietal or variety of the grape. So it could be Pinot Noir, it could be Chardonnay. Usually ones that produce quickly, Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, Pinot. You can get some grapes pretty quickly, I think. The problem is, and you also get wine, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Right, like 5 years is when you get it. What people don't get is like if you're planting Cabernet or something that then to get the wine takes a long time.
Yeah.
You're talking like 8 or 9 years from planting to harvest to, barrels, cellaring, to actually having something you can pour.
Yeah.
So you better have a side job.
Yes.
Right?
Always have a side hustle in the industry.
Have something else you can do. But you knew that really good job.
Thank you.
Wow, that was it. I mean,
was that the answer?
You answered so fast. Normally I was going to hem and haw for a little bit and talk about, we're not planting daisies.
It's about 3 years.
It is about 3 years. But you see, some people will keep vines going for a very long time, like Zinfandel.
Yeah.
And they call it old vine Zinfandel, and these gnarly, out there.
You can see some out at Beer-Cone, I believe.
Okay, right, out on the hill.
Yeah.
Oh, where the lavender, the mustard girls are always running through it, and they had to put the signs. Stop running through the mustard. But it was very pretty on that hill. And then some other times you'll see they'll tear up a vineyard after like 10, 15, 25 years because they're not as productive. Mm-hmm. Sometimes Chardonnay and Pinot Noir will do that. And people often ask me like, "Oh my God, they're tearing out the vines." Like, yeah, that's just kind of, it reaches the end of its productive use, right? And sometimes they'll just burn them there and turn that back into the soil. I always thought you could do something with the art with the wood. I don't know what, but
really.
it's all gnarled.
Yeah.
Chardonnay and stuff. But you can often see that. And then I mentioned the grafting. Some people will do what's called a field graft. They'll cut. This is laborious, but they will cut the rootstock and then they'll go in there and regraft it in the field.
Yeah.
So they don't have to redo it. Advantages, you can get grapes faster. Disadvantages, your back is going to hurt. So it's a lot of crawling around on the ground.